Hi, this is Nicole Roberts Jones, and welcome to Amplify Your Brilliance. What I know for sure is that one of life's greatest gifts will meet you when you go after your more. And so here is where I share with you thought-provoking insight and behind the curtain conversations with women who have reached the pinnacle of success because they went after their more. And I really want you to get this. One idea from these episodes can make a remarkable difference, not just in your business, your career, but in your life. Also, make sure you join the conversation in our Facebook group. Go to thebrilliancetribe.com. Now grab your pen as we begin today's session of Amplify Your Brilliance. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode. So today, I'm excited to introduce to you a powerhouse, and her name is Kim Roxie. Now, Kim is the founder and CEO of Lumi Beauty, and all of you that know me, you already know I'm excited just from that sentence right there. A clean beauty brand that caters to multicultural women. Now, after opening her own brick-and-mortar makeup shop at age 21 in Houston, Texas, on a $500 investment, I want y'all to hear that. All of y'all that are waiting for an investor, on a $500 investment, Kim ran that store for 14 years and was the youngest African-American woman to have her products carried in a major department store. So in 2019, Roxie pivoted again and launched her business, her brand, LAMIK, as an e-commerce beauty company. Now, Kim, in addition to all of that, is a community leader with the city of Houston, formerly named June 23rd as Kim Roxie Day in 2019. She holds an executive certification from the Tuck School of Business, a business degree from Clark Atlanta University. She has an esthetician license. I can go on and on. She's a scholar in the Goldman Sachs 10,000 small businesses. Ooh, that's a tongue tie. Businesses program. She's served on the board of Career and Recovery Services, and she currently serves on the City of Houston's Mayor Millennial Advisory Board. She was honored in 2019 as one of the Houston's Business Journal's 40 Under 40. Now, listen, I could go on and on with all the features she's done: Essence and Allure and Cosmopolitan and MarthaStewart.com. But and listen, there's way more things on here to name. But let's hear from the lady. Hey, Miss Kim.
Hey, Nicole, how you doing?
I'm excited. Listen, when I said I'm going to reach out to Kim, it has taken us a whole month of Sundays to get here. Let me tell you why. Every woman I'm inviting to this podcast is busy, but I'm super excited about your story because of all that you're doing. So tell us your big why. Like, why even start in the beauty business altogether?
So I think why I even started altogether was because I needed a job, and I was at the mall as a teenager in college trying to help get me through school. And I just went to the mall looking for a job, and I went to this makeup counter because my friend said they're hiring people over there. And you know how it is. You talk to your friend, you're like, oh, okay, I'm going over there. I'm going to apply, not thinking they were going to hire me. And they did, and they called my bluff, and I had to show up. But while I was there, I actually found out that I had this natural ability to make women feel beautiful because she already was.
Right. Oh, that's so good. Wait, I got to stop right there. Because that was so good. I got chills when you just said that. She said, I realized I had the natural gift to make women feel beautiful because she already was. That is so good.
Yes. And so while I was there, I was the top sales producer, and my manager, a couple of weeks into that job at the makeup counter, said to me, what are you telling these women? And I was like, what? And she was like, you're selling more makeup than me. You're selling more makeup than anybody in here. What are you doing? You don't even call yourself a makeup artist. So how you doing this? And I was like, I have fell in love with what I just said, making women feel good about themselves.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is my thing. And you couldn't get me away from that job. And I worked it my whole time while I was in college. And so my senior year, it was, it came down to what you're going to be when you grow up. And I had never had an internship because, remember, you couldn't pry me away from being at this makeup counter serving women. And so, when my professor said to me, oh, have you got any interviews that, have you sent your resume? And I'm like, no. And I was like, my parents asked me the same question.
Mm.
And she was like, what you gonna do?
Right.
Like, you gotta go get an internship. You gotta do something. How you gonna be able to get a job? And so I went from, excelling and having a good time at this job to now getting hit almost like with a brick, like, but you have no future. And I came into that, and I remember going to the store, and my manager, I remember like having like a moment, and her being like, you can open up a makeup shop yourself. Like, that's what you should go do. And I was like, and I went back home and like crying. And I came up with this name, and I came up with this makeup shop, and I was like, we don't have a makeup shop like this in Houston, my hometown, because I was in Atlanta at Clark. And I was like, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna open this makeup shop. And so, I mean, for anybody out there, man, sometimes it feels like you didn't do the right thing,
right?
But with God on your side, your steps are already ordered, and sometimes you're doing the right thing without even knowing it.
And what's interesting about your conversation is just listening to your story, that you had this natural ability. And I talk about DNA all the time. And those of you that have been around, you hear me talk about DNA, which is distinct natural ability. And so you were doing it. You loved your job, and everyone around you couldn't see it. And so I'm sharing that because, listen, I often say your purpose is like a baby. And your first trimester, nobody can see you're pregnant but you. And so in that moment, even when, and I bet you your manager, when she dropped that, when you should do your own story, she probably said it, but didn't realize what she was saying. But she really dropped something in your spirit that you enacted.
Yeah. It activated something in me. And I was like, yeah, that started to make sense. It started, and she also like sort of empowered me to let me know, like, like, you can do that. You can do that, right? and the fact that I was in Atlanta and I saw entrepreneurs around and things like that, it gave me even more of a empowerment type of feeling that I could.
And the reason I stopped and hesitated, even when I was reading your bio, I say Bible, see, in your bio, and I said a $500 investment. Listen, that mustn't have been intentional. Okay, God, we hear you, right? But anyway, so with a $500 investment, which is nothing, y'all, I want you to get this because it costs a whole lot more than $500 to open up that store.
Yeah. It costs a whole lot more, but a couple of things, happened when I opened up that makeup shop. My mom gave me a pivotal $500. I, being in a lot of ignorance, did not, and sometimes ignorance is bliss, because I did not understand how much it took to really like run that makeup shop and stuff. And so I had calculated that if I save up this amount, and this is like my last semester of my senior year, that I'm like going on this savings spree.
Right.
So this is like planned out. And so I was like, if I work and I save up this, and I was like, okay, I save up I save up $10,000, I can open up the store. But that $10,000 that I was saying that I could save up was only for me to open up the store. That had nothing to do with 6 months rent in the bank or
and
anything
product
like that.
And right.
Yeah. Like literally when I opened up, I was broke. Like I had no more money. And so I opened up the makeup shop, and that was it. And so when I opened up and I had my open sign lit and nobody was coming in, I was like, wait. Like so maybe in the first 30 minutes, girl, I started, because I opened up in a mall. I walked to the food court and started talking to women and talked them right on down to my store, saying, I can do your makeup for you, and walk them all the way down to my store.
I know that's right.
To get them to come in. And then that's how we got started.
And the thing I want people to get is it takes you risking it all to gaining it all. So often when I talk to women entrepreneurs, Kim, and I know people have come across you and asked you too, and they think, oh, it's going to be easy and you're going to have all these laid out plans. And most of us, even though we think we know, there's always, I call blind spots that you don't know, that you didn't even think to know when you start your business. But if you would have quit right then when nobody was walking by, which is what most people do, they just start boarding up the shop like, oh, I'm a failure. But you were like, let me go and see who I can bring over to me.
Yeah. And I had to, it's almost like a sink, like a swim or drown kind of moment,
right.
Sink or swim.
Yep.
But from doing that, that's the whole purpose of what I was there for. It was to build, remember, that's the reason what got me in it, to build relationships with women. And so that sort of tactic that I had to do was actually even meaningful.
That's good.
It was meaning even in me doing that.
Mm-hmm. That's so good.
You know?
That's so
And
good.
so, yeah, so sometimes everything that business is for, is not always, all of business is not just caught up in the outcome of business. It's actually caught up sometimes right in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the things that you have to do, the processes that you have to take, and all of that, that's where a lot of times, that purpose, and I know you talk about that a lot, is, and I think that's the part sometimes where we have to sort of bring more value there, because we're actually profiting even right then.
That's so good. Even as you were talking, and you are profiting, and it's not necessarily monetary profit, it's profiting in your soul. And what happens when you profit in your soul, money comes. It comes effortless. The other thing that you said, and I say this to my clients all the time because I don't believe in marketing. And hold on, Kim, for you lose your mind on me, right? So I say that because you can buy the latest marketing program, but if it's not in alignment with who you be, it's not going to work. Mm-hmm. And so what you did is what I tell my clients, they need to date their ideal client. Right. So if my husband would have brought my ring to our first date, Kim, I would have been like, girl, please come get me. I would have been calling my girlfriends. This man is crazy. Come get me. But that's what we do. We start a business and we think automatically because you open shop, people are going to come. And what you're showing us is that didn't happen. But what you did was you started dating your clients. You were like, let me go out to the food court and start talking to people.
Yeah.
And that's what makes you a differentiator in your industry, is because people know Kim. Mm-hmm. It's not, LAMIK is great. It's phenomenal, by the way. We'll talk about that in a minute. But Kim is even better.
Well,
so good.
Well, LAMIK is made up in Kim, and LAMIK is made up in Nicole, and LAMIK is made up in, because LAMIK stands for love and makeup and kindness. So it's actually like an affirmation that's a product.
Yes.
And so it's been that thing. It's like that reminder that's in your makeup bag. It's on your counter. It's what you need to put on, so you can show up for, as you really are, bringing all what's made up inside of you. It's that. It's almost like as if we could take the words that we say and who we are on the inside and those good parts and actually put it on us. That's like what LAMIK is.
Ooh, okay. So we're going to talk about LAMIK in a minute because that's good, y'all. So put a bookmark right there for a second, because I want to talk about, before we start, because I want to make sure all of y'all that are listening that you go get some LAMIK. We'll talk about that in a second, though. We're going to stop here and take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back for more. Ladies, I have one question for you. Do you have your ticket to my 2-day intensive Be the Answer? And yes, we've gone virtual, so you can join me from the comfort of your home. Learn more at BeTheAnswerEvent.com. So I'm inviting you to join me for 2 days where I get to coach you and teach you everything you need end to end to grow or start your service-based business. See, this is an event filled with other women just like you on a mission for more. Whether that more is to get clear on how your brilliance should and can produce your paycheck, whether that's to start your business alongside your 9-to-5, or to generate multiple streams of income in your current business, or anything in between, you need to be in the virtual room. See, Be the Answer is an event where I give you the tools you need to create and sustain a business that you're passionate about, all while showing you how to generate multiple streams of income. Go to BeTheAnswerEvent.com to learn more and register. Listen, it's me and you for the 2 days where I give you the step-by-step action you need to move your business into real profit right now. I can't wait to serve you, coach you, and teach you. So how did you move from having a store to now creating LAMIK? It's like, what in that moment told you, and here's where I want the ladies to get as she's sharing, as Kim is sharing, is that oftentimes God will give you, like, the thing I love about your journey is you started with what you love in a store. Great. And then God will always have the next pivot for you, which was to open your own store. Great. You did that and you didn't quit. Then God had yet more, another level for you, which is LAMIK. So how did you even say yes to that and know that it was time for that next pivot?
2 ways God showed it to me. One was it was my first business sort of competition that Odyssey Media did.
Mm-hmm.
And
I was there. I'm so good. Sorry, go ahead.
Because you're that kind of woman. One of those influential coaching us to excellence kind of women. And that's who were in the room. So Nicole was there. So it was, y'all just imagine, everybody listening, imagine 300 Nicoles, 400, I think it was like 400
Look,
people. Like,
and let me be clear,
Nicoles.
Kim, I was the bottom of the totem pole, which I'm fine with that. So we talking about presidents of Coca-Cola, presidents of like major companies y'all go to are in the room, okay?
Everybody listening already knows she the top of the top of the top. So again, imagine 400 Nicoles, okay? So imagine that being in a room, you are either going to use them as a platform to stand on, or you're going to allow their brilliance to intimidate you to go beneath. Okay, and so for me, when I walked in that room and I came in that experience, God started to whisper to me, "This is they will be your platform."
Yes.
And today is the full circle moment to confirm that by you leveraging your platform and allowing me to be here. When that moment, a shift that happened. So I had been running my makeup shop. That was my dream to open up the makeup shop. I had opened up one in Atlanta before. I did a pop-up in New Orleans. I had had some of my products in Macy's for a limited time. But really the makeup shop was all my dream. So I was living that, doing that, and then my mom made her transition in 2014 from metastatic breast cancer. And in that moment, God told me, your life was about to start anew. Because me and my mom best friends. Like, this is my ride.
Right.
This my all.
Right,
okay.
Right.
But I almost had to put, God is almost like have no idols before me, because mama was my girl. Okay.
Right.
And so when she passed in 2014, what happened was God whispered to me, life is about to start over. And so it was telling me to keep living, right? But I'm about to build you back up again, because I already know where you are right now.
Okay.
and so in 2015, my mom passed away in 2014, October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, because she wanted to put a stamp on that. Okay, that's the month that Diva goes out, because she's like, look, I want y'all to pay attention to breast cancer now.
Right.
And in 2015, I got married. And then in 9 months, in the same year, I had a baby.
Okay.
Right? So in the same year, life is starting over.
Right.
A 30-something-year-old woman getting married, having a baby. So life is starting over. And then it went from there. In 2016, I tried to do things in my business, and it wasn't feel like it was working. It just wasn't. I had no vision. You ever been in a place where you feel like you ain't got no vision?
Yeah.
You're like, I don't have no vision for how it's supposed to work.
Right.
Like, no more.
Right. And let me tell you why that happens, because that chapter is over. So what I mean by that is, and I'm sharing it because somebody's in that place right now, what you just said just stepped on her toes. So somebody write ouch in the Facebook group, right? So listen, it's not that where you are, you weren't supposed to be there. And I'm saying this to y'all that are listening, because had Kim not started in the store working for somebody else, she would not have had her own store. Had she not had her own store, this next pivot that she's going to tell us about would not have happened. You can't just graduate from college and start LAMIK. That would not have happened. Right? Because there was what God does, there's a quote that says life's adversities is God's universities. And we don't know what God has taken us to every level we go through. But if we don't successfully meet that level and then let go of it, it's almost like I remember leaving my 8th grade to go to high school, and my 8th grade teacher to this day, one of my favorite teachers. I did not want to leave Miss McMorris. I mean, she made us feel like family. I mean, she still comes to some of our weddings. It's crazy. And let me tell you, I graduated from 8th grade in 1982 or 83, one of them two. That's how old I am. Okay. So I want y'all to get that she's still like family. So for me to leave her was the hardest thing to do. And so the same for you. I know, even though you're not feeling your store, you had to have feeling conflict, because I was like, I built all of this, and why do I not feel this?
So real, Nicole, I have to say, because I know your message is purpose, power, profit. But what I love about you is something else I just want to add in there is patience. You're giving people permission to have patience, and that's powerful, my friend.
Thank you, girl.
Because a lot of people don't preach patience.
Because it's God's timing. Because if you would have tried to start Lumi Beauty after college, it would have been so flat.
Yeah. And so it's that part. And so when I went to Odyssey, so when I applied for the Odyssey deal, I kind of was just reaching for hope, right? Reaching for, because, and really, God was like, I want you to concentrate on building family. But for a woman who had been single, running a business, I had no value towards building family. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, that's good. That's deep.
Because I don't want to, I'm stuck.
Because look, when you're single, you can work. Look, and you have no kids. You can work late. You can work weekends. You can travel back and forth to different stores and not be worried about nobody but you.
I was selfish. Okay.
right. And having a good time doing it too, I'm sure.
So I put no value into that. And my husband is the direct opposite, girl. He, as long as he can be a father and a wife, like that's like the dream of his life. I put no value towards that, right? And so God had to work on my heart right then to even expand my heart capacity to start to put value around family and things. And I'm talking about my own family. I had value towards, that family I was brought into, and I was, excited about that. But this family that then he was growing out of me. Yeah. So it took some years for him to do that. And so I then look at 2017, went to the Odyssey event and got there and ended up winning the business competition.
And let me tell you guys, she's saying it like it's not a big deal. She has some pretty stiff competition, but you shined above everybody else. That's why I said, ooh, this Kim girl, I got to follow her. Let me find her on social. Because you shined, because you were nothing but yourself. You didn't try to mold yourself into some other cookie cutter thing of who everybody else probably told you should be to do the competition. You were you through and through.
Yeah. I must say it was like a mixture of trying to get into a sorority, trying to be, president of the company. It was like all of that. That's like the type of experience it was. And when I asked him, I was like, actually, I didn't even ask. One of the executives came at the end and actually told me this information. She said, I just want you to know, because to your point, all the women were amazing. And she said, you know the reason why you won? And I was like, why? Because that was my first time ever even doing pitch slides and all this stuff. Right. The secret is, y'all, the young lady that was there as the intern for the event actually did my stuff for me. And I was very, she was just like, because they were like, anybody can help? And everybody's like, oh no, we got our stuff together. I was like, girl, I don't have nothing together. Can you help me? And okay. I was like, I ain't never done this before, and they said at the end, one of the executives said to me, she said, you want to know why you won? She said, you won because you were the most authentic. And she was like, across the board, all the judges said the same thing, and everybody had your name, and everybody said that, which kind of like what you just said, right? Like, and I was like, man, but in that moment, all of y'all molded me. And from that place, I left with a sort of mission that I had to sort of step up to the plate of what y'all put before me. And I left there knowing that. And so when I came back, home later that year, 2017, then it was revealed to me that I was going to close the store. I had to write a letter to my customers, because we're talking about a store that's thriving. We're not talking about a store that's going down to the drains. No, we're talking about congresswomen coming in there, Grammy Award winning singers, people come to Houston, they're going to come to Luminique, that kind of thing happening and going on. Fully staffed of women doing makeup, getting their brows done. I took them away from the nail shop, getting their eyebrows messed up. Okay. And so, this was what's happening here. And so I had to write that letter and say, y'all, but how you write a letter though, Nicole, and say something like, everything's working great, but God is calling us to greater.
Ooh. And let me tell you something. I'm sure everybody got that letter, even though I don't even know what the rest of it said, but just the opening is enough. They were already on board for what was in store.
Yeah. And kind of like, I was like, and I don't know exactly what stops we're going to take, how the train going to get us, but I know we're going to get there. And we're going to get there. I just won this thing with Odyssey, and I was in a room full of 400 Nicoles, and they told me that I was I had the vision, and I got it, and I gotta go do what they believe I can do, right, and what they believe we can do. And so I closed the store, sent that letter out. And by the way,
that's that relationship thing that you're good at, showing up again. That's that relationship piece. I want y'all to get that.
And so closed that store, and I literally went from, I had customers reaching out to me. Everybody was pretty much on board. I had a few that was like, Kim, I'm over here having a heart attack. I said, you cannot talk like that. I said, you are not having a heart attack. I said, we have greater in store, you know.
Yes.
And so they came on board, and then, but Nicole, I had, but I didn't really have a plan for how we're gonna get us there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I just knew that God had there. So I sort of took a couple of months and exposed myself. God told me to expose myself to more information, so I could get more downloads. And so I actually went to South Africa, Johannesburg. I went to Hong Kong for a business financial forum they had there. I went to these different places because literally my instructions were to just go get exposed and the information will come. And so I went to Dubai. I mean, I did a little bit of traveling because it was just like I needed to get exposed. I needed to see more than what was around me. I just needed to open up my whole senses. And so I did that. And while my last trip that I took was the Johannesburg trip, and while I was there, I was already looking up tech accelerators and tech programs. And I was like, a part of the instruction I was starting to get was I need to go to I need to get in the tech community, because in order for you to make this company, this brand, this product, to be able to reach all the women that you want to reach with it, it's going to be through technology. It's going to be through that system. And so I started to apply for tech accelerators. And the one that I applied for, I remember being in Johannesburg and sending the application and doing a video and everything. And I ended up getting accepted into that one. And so then I started my journey in April of 2018 of God sort of building up my capacity and my knowledge and everything. And I went through some accelerators from that year up into 2019, and went through some tech accelerators.
And I want you guys to hear all the training and coaching she went through, because so many people think again that things are overnight, and you might not see it growing and happening, but behind the scenes, even as you were traveling, I'm sure you were meeting people and having experiences that all poured into even the training you were getting. So listen, we can go on and on. Our time is almost up, believe it or not. I want to make sure that women know where they can get their Lumi Beauty, because here's the thing I want you guys to get. It has love in it, number one. Number two, it's for us, by us. So anytime something is for us, by us, we've got to support it. So tell all the ladies, if you have something special you're doing right now, or just tell them how they can get LAMIK.
So they can get LAMIK by going to LumiqueBeauty.com. And this is what I want them to do. I want them to go there, take our quiz. So the first product that our hero product is our brow kit, because your girl suffers from hair loss, and my eyebrows do not grow all the way, but I had to create something that I could show up fully and feel confident around. And so I created this brow kit, and it's made from 88% natural and organic ingredients. And women need to know 75% of beauty products marketed to women of color in particular are toxic. And the personal care industry has a very a dirty underlining of ingredients and side effects to makeup that sometimes we don't talk about in the open. And so I'm here to talk about it, one, and to provide us with a better solution, a non-toxic solution. And so we make our products, most of our products right here in Houston, Texas. So it's actually like for us, by us, made by us, here. And it's also, you don't have to compromise your health for your beauty. And you don't have to compromise your beauty either. And so that's where you can find it. Go there. We are happy to help you. I know that it is not easy, and sometimes because of your past experiences with makeup, I want you to come to LAMIK with a sort of like fresh, like if you it was a bad relationship with other, you can't go back on that. Like, okay, I gotta come up here with a fresh perspective. So that's how I want you to come to LAMIK and let us prove to you that were good for
Ooh,
you.
that's so good. Well, this whole conversation has been good for me. So thank you, Kim, first of all, for being uncompromising with helping women feel who they already are. Thank you that you have blazed trails. Thank you that you continue to blaze trails. And thank you for just coming to share your experience and your journey with us today. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Nicole, for having me. And thank you for giving us permission to have patience on our journey.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Amplify Your Brilliance. Now, I want you to walk away from these sessions with value, so answer either one or all three of these questions. Number one, what was your greatest takeaway? Number two, what will you do different as a result of what you heard? See, you may have heard something you've already heard, or you may have learned something new. Either way, don't take the insight that was shared with you for granted. So commit to doing one thing different as a result of what you heard. Number three, what was confirmation for you? What did you hear that confirmed you're on the right path? See, I want you to take a moment and celebrate you. Too often in our journey, we focus on what we're not doing and we forget to celebrate what we are doing. So I want you to share with us something that showed you that you're on the right path. Now again, share. Share either answer number one, what was your greatest takeaway? Number two, what will you do different? Or number three, what was confirmation for you? And share it in our Facebook community. Go to thebrilliancetribe.com and use the hashtag #AmplifyYourBrilliance. See, each experience we encourage, support, and celebrate as a community. It allows us to expand in possibility and wisdom, in encouragement and love. Now, we've invited you into this community to deepen our journey with being the answer somebody needs and being committed to your next level. So until the next time, be extraordinary, be unapologetic, be bodaciously you, go and amplify.